My name is Martin. I've been studying charisma and social skills for 3 years straight. In today's video, I'm going to show you the 4 most important principles that Brian Moser is using so people will perceive him as much more charismatic. And I can even give you a guarantee that by the end of this video, people will perceive you much more confident and as much more charismatic. Let's move to the first principle, and that is his calmness. If you see Brian Moser talking on the screen, everything that he says is very calm and collected. And why do people perceive this as extremely charismatic and confident? It's because you don't have to rush. People who tend to rush, people who tend to be very jittery and very quick with their answers, usually never really think about what they are gonna say next. As a result of that, they will say something really stupid. But if you slow down like Brian Moser and have this very calm vibe about yourself, that will create the energy of confidence around you. I have talked about the very calm energy in my Hannibal Lecter video, how to become charismatic like Hannibal Lecter, and Brian Moser displays the exact same trait as Hannibal in this scenario because he is so calm in what he is doing. There are 2 types of confidence. There is the chaotic confidence, the bold one, that the really energetic confidence, and the second one is a very calm and collected confidence. For example, I am more of this energetic, very chaotic energy confidence, but for example, one of my best friends, he's the second type. He's very calm and collected, and he really values the words he's gonna say next, because if he were to fuck up something, then people were to make fun of him. And this is exactly what will happen to you if you will just not take your time. And that's the reason why we need to slow down, because if we don't slow down, we'll say eventually something really stupid. And how can we exactly implement this in this life? Because yes, having the information is one thing, but what about implementing this thing? The first most important thing is to take a pause, and the second thing is to down talk your sentences. Let's start with a pause. After you said something and you create a pause, that creates the 3 most important elements of communication. First is that your audience will understand what you have just said. So for example, if I say, there's a huge green forest right in front of me, your mind suddenly processes the information. So that's how you can make your listeners understand you even better. The second thing is that you will have time to think about what you're gonna say next. Because for example, when you are in a conversation or you have a presentation, we need to sometimes take a pause to think about what are we gonna say next. Because if we just ramble forever and we don't take a pause, our viewers will get really bored and none of the message will sink in really, because we are always rambling, and we are not letting them to process the information. That's first of all. And second of all, if we don't pause, sometimes we might even go off topic and not really stick to our message that we wanted to say. And the third and final thing when it comes to pauses is that they will remove filler words. Have you ever heard a presentation when someone was always saying, guys, and this right here, I guess we can also talk about this. I have said right now 10 words, but I said nothing. Nothing. And these things are called filler words. They say a lot, but in fact they don't say anything. And if you get rid of these words by using a pause, you'll be perceived as a bigger authority and you will be perceived as much more credible in the thing that you are talking about. Imagine if I were to start off this video like this. My name is Martin, and in today's video I'm gonna show you the most important principles of Brian Moser, Nobody would watch this video because they would know that I am not credible when it comes to communication skills. Just a quick recap of pauses. First of all, you will have time to think about what you're gonna say next, and you will never go off topic. Second of all, it will make your audience feel and process your message. And finally, third of all, it will actually remove and eliminate every single filler word that you use. And now let's move to the second thing that I was talking about, and that is the down talk. If you hear Brian Moser talking, of course, he has a very deep and charming voice. But what is the second most important thing is that he is ending his sentences on a down talk. Imagine if you were to come up to someone and you would say something like this. My name is Martin. What is your name? Nice to meet you. That looks really, really needy. But what if I said it in a much more down talky way? My name is Martin. What is your name? Suddenly a huge difference, isn't it? Because in the first one, I was ending on a high pitch, on a high note, like this. And that makes someone perceive you as extremely uncharismatic and as extremely needy. If you, at the end of your sentence, you just do this. Hi, my name is Martin. What is your name? People perceive you extremely needy. And we can fix this by using the down talk. Instead of ending on a very high pitch, like this, we'll end on a very low one. My name is Martin. What is your name? That creates automatically so much confidence inside you, because first of all, you are really slow, and when you are slow, your body knows that it is safe and it doesn't need to create any stupid social anxiety. And as a second thing, people around you will perceive you much more confident. And then listen, I know this is really hard to implement, because for example, I see even very successful keynote speakers and influencers still use this huge mistake. And so I can make this even more simpler for you and more easier. You don't always have to end on a down talk like this. If you just end on a very flat sentence, that was a bad example. If you just end on a very flat sentence, nothing changed, and people will still perceive you as very natural and not very needy like this. You can use high pitch, of course, if you want to tell a joke. For example, if I see a dog right there, I can say, "Oh my god, dude, that dog is pissing there." And it is perceived as very funny because I have used the high pitch. Don't fall asleep on a high pitch. High pitch also has some uses in communication skills, but if you want to be perceived as an authority, the best thing you can do is to end your sentences on a down talk. And I get it, that takes some time to learn, and that's why I would recommend first starting out by flattening your sentences like this. Not really ending on a high pitch, nor on a down talk, just flat. Let's move to the second principle that Brian Moser displays perfectly well, and this is called active listening. A lot of people, when they are in the conversations, they don't care about the other person. They don't ask them questions. They don't do anything else to basically contribute to the conversation. And if we want to become charismatic like Brian Moser, what do people love the most? They love talking about themselves. Everyone loves talking about themselves. And that's why we can use this to our advantage. We need to ask people questions about them. I'm going to show you a clip where Brian did this exponentially well.
You have a brother?
Yeah, Dexter.
What, you mean you weren't daddy's little girl?
No, I was. Kind of. He just took a special interest in Dex.
He asked Deb if she has a brother. And this just shows that you actually care about the person. Because most people will just go into a conversation, shake hands and say, "Hello, hello, hello," and they will go separate ways. But if you want to make the connection stand out even further, we need to ask that person about them. Ask them, what have you been doing? What have you been doing in the city? Why are you here? What are your hobbies? The best method that is used for this is the FORD method. FORD. FORD method stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. In my opinion, talking about family is really, really boring. So I don't use the F. I only use the ORD. Because to be honest, would you like if someone were to ask you, "Oh, how many siblings do you have?" I consider that really boring, and that's why I only ask about their occupation, because their hobbies extremely good, because that gives you a sense about who this person really is, and second of all, the dreams, who they want to become, and that is extremely powerful. It's really beneficial to skip the small talk. Yes, I always ask a question that would break the ice, something in a way of, "How are you doing today?" Extremely simple, breaks the ice right off the way. But after that person responds to that question, you're not just gonna talk, how is the weather today?" because that's boring. Then you need to immediately go for the kill. Immediately go and do the initiative, like Brian Moser did. He did not wait for the approval, he just asked. And you will be surprised how many times people will answer some of the deepest questions ever. I'm gonna tell you actually a story. My best friend once came to this very religious meeting, and one person just came up to him, and he never talked with this person ever before, and this person came up to him and he said, "What is your biggest fear?" Now that is a question worth answering, because it is not generic, that is special, and that's why talking about family is boring, and talking about fears, about aliens, about talking about these deep topics that just go that level down, these topics are the most interesting ones. I always hear people talk about this. Nobody cares about a small talk. Yes, small talk and the first sentence to break the ice is absolutely cool. I'm not gonna bullshit on that. But after you say that first sentence, immediately start listening and caring about the other people, because that's how they will love you so much. Let me tell you what will happen if you will not care about other people. Because yes, it's good to know that you care about other people, but what will happen if you don't care? Well, if you will never care, people will first of all never remember you, and second of all, they will never want to share anything with you. I still remember that one day when I was telling my achievement to one of my friends. But guess what he did? He started judging and he started complaining and he started to basically dethrone my achievements like it's nothing. Do you think I ever told him another one of my achievements or maybe another one of my wins? Never, because he was always judgmental towards them. And that's why a very good mindset also is, instead of you judging people, just listen towards their ideas. And I'm gonna give you an action step. The next time you're gonna be speaking to someone, go a step beyond. You can ask whatever you like. Maybe just try to experiment a little bit and ask something deep, and you'll be absolutely surprised how of a goated conversation you'll get into. Let's move to the third principle, and this principle needs to be implemented for every single human being on earth, because I see so many people get this so wrong, and people are so bad at apologizing to people. This is one of the worst things that you can do when you are trying to apologize. Never say the word but, because if you say the word but, you immediately destroy the entire apology. But let's not talk about what people are doing, let's talk about how Brian Moser has done it immensely well.
Doing anything tonight? Masuka's invited us to the Bel Canto.
Now that we know how Brian Moser has done it, let's break this thing down to two most important things. First, what you shouldn't do when apologizing to people, and second of all, what you should do when apologizing to people. First of all, when you want to apologize to people, the worst thing that you can do is to say the word but. Listen, I'm really sorry, but... and you instantly lose respect for that person. Nobody cares if you have a reason, because at that moment they don't care about you. They care about their own feelings, because you hurt them clearly if you need to apologize. And people make such horrible apologies. And listen, I'm gonna be a little bit tough right now, because 99% of people who are watching this video probably don't know how to apologize. 99. I have never in my life have I met a person who knows how to apologize. Never. Either they don't even say the word sorry, either they say the word but, either they don't take responsibility, or they don't even advance. I never met a person who would done all of these four. Say the word I'm sorry, take responsibility, not say the word but, and actually advance. Now that we know how to not make a bad apology by saying the word but, how to make a good apology. And I have made this very easy for you. You have to use the AAA framework for the apology. And after I say the AAA framework, I'm also gonna add another bonus that Brian Moser did right here. The first A stands for acknowledge. If you want to create a masterful apology, you have to start with acknowledgement. That is, in this case, empathy. If you want to have the best apology ever when you fucked up something, the best thing that you can do is to start by acknowledging the other person and giving them your honest empathy. Oh, listen, I'm really sorry about what I have done. I know that I have fucked up a lot, and I wanted to say that I understand you. If I was in your shoes, I would be mad also. That shows high levels of empathy. And yes, this is about to destroy your whole ego. And the second thing is apologize. After you acknowledge them and you say, oh, I was really mad in your situation, you actually apologize and you say, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about what I have done, and it's completely my fault. And with the apology one, with the second one, you also need to implement responsibility, because a lot of people say, yeah, I'm sorry, but that word but is automatically destroying your entire apology, so never say that. You have to say, I'm really sorry, and it's entirely my fault. Never use the word but and replace it with and. I'm really sorry about what I have done, and it's completely my fault. I knew I could have, for example, managed my time better. I know I could have just done this, but I was just procrastinating. If you stay like that, nobody's gonna get mad at you, no one. But the final third thing is advance. After you give them your empathy and after you actually apologize, advance. And advance is that you're gonna actually improve. So the entire apology will look something like this. I'm really sorry about what I've done. If I was in your shoes, I would be extremely mad at me also. And I completely understand how you are feeling right now. Because, to be frank, if I was you, I would be mad also. And I am really sorry. It's completely my fault, and I will never do this ever again. Because I know this is completely my responsibility, and if I were to manage my time better, I would be on time. And listen, David, I can assure you that I'm gonna become a better person from now on. And I'm gonna actually try to be on time from now on. And I will try to become a better person because of this situation. nobody's gonna get mad at you if you say it like that, because that creates that feeling that you truly mean what you are saying. And a huge disclaimer, if you mean all of these things in a dishonesty and you want to deceive people that you think these things, shame on you. If you want to use the AAA framework, mean it honestly, because you cannot deceive people and just say, I'm gonna change, and then you're never gonna change. Because if you say that you're gonna change, but then you don't change, suddenly you lost all of your reputation. And you know how reputation is hard to gain back. So you have to mean these three things honestly. But now let's move to what Brian Moser did. He made it personalized. When he messed up with Deb, he bought her favorite flowers. I have watched season 1 a really long time ago. I think he asked Dexter what were her favorite flowers, and he said white roses, or someone said white roses. And this is what you can also use. If you don't have something about the person, ask someone who knows them on a much better level if you want to apologize to them. And for example, you can buy them their favorite food as an apology for what you have done, and also combine it with the AAM framework. And this is how you will make the apology stand out from the rest of the crowd, because you are making it personalized, you are apologizing, you are advancing, and you also are taking responsibility. Who would not love a person like that? Let's move to the final fourth principle, and that is Brian Moser's humor and vibe. And I have to be honest, we men have a huge problem when it comes to this, because we men were conditioned to wear a resting bitch face our entire lives. Basically talking like this on the camera, thinking that we are smart. You are cringing whenever I do that, because we know how robotic that is. And we men have been conditioned to be stoic. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with stoicism. I'm saying that if we want to be perceived charismatic, we have to use our emotions. And this is what Dexter fails to do. He never knows when to use a certain emotions because he is so awkward. But Brian Moser has done it exponentially well. He knows when to smile, he also knows when to dance and have fun. And this is what makes a charismatic person. It's not those top 5 tricks and tips you see on YouTube. It's the fact that they have the vibe around them. It's the vibe, the ability to use their emotions to their advantage. I'm not saying that you should cry every single day. I'm just saying that every single day when you are gonna be talking to people, your emotions are your weapon. Do not suppress them when you are around other people, because that's when you will become unrecognizable and unmemorable, because people can sense if you have emotions, and if you don't have any, you will never stand out from the crowd. Because I still remember when I was younger, I thought about getting girls a lot. And whenever I saw a very beautiful girl in the bus, I was always, if I get this face on me, this very cool Sigma face, I'm gonna attract her. And you can immediately see how cringe that is. But if I were to just smile at her and did this, immediately she would feel much more attracted, because you are showing that you are a real human being. And of course, yes, some girls might not like it, but those girls are not for me. I don't really like girls who just are like robots. My girlfriend is the best girl ever, because we can have fun about everything. When we are playful, when we are talking to each other, we use a lot of emotions, and that's what makes our relationship so good, because that relationship is the best one ever. And I'm gonna tell you a really important thing that nobody talks about in the charisma industry. If you are smiling at someone, and if you are cheerful, that energy is highly infectious. It's like a sickness spreading, because once you smile at someone, they will smile at you back. If you once have this very energetic vibe about yourself, suddenly the whole room and everyone around you is suddenly funny, and everyone is laughing with you. If you become this beacon of hope, everyone will follow you into the light of becoming the person who just knows how to be extremely charming. And listen, you're not gonna achieve this the day after you watch this video, of course not. But if you just practice this and make things deliberately funny, even though they could be said in a very mundane way, for example, hey bro, would you like this cup of water? That's said in a very mundane way. But if I make it funny, for example, yo bro, I got this water for you, would you like this? You make the pitch of your voice go up through the entire sentence. You use the melody inside your voice, and you use that facial expression, yo bro, I got this water for you, would you like this? And it makes the entire experience much more fun, because people will now know you are not taking life seriously, because you are just here to have fun. Not fun in this bad way, this degenerate way where you are taking drugs and drinking alcohol. No, You're just enjoying the conversation with them. That's what people are starving for. They want that person who just does not take life seriously, and it takes them on a huge adventure of fun. And not on this serious adventure where you always need to be professional. People need the time to be actually seduced by fun. Now you know the information, but what is the implementation? The next time you're gonna say something, use the high pitch, for example, and use your emotions to your advantage. And that's how you will become extremely memorable. When did Brian Moser do this? It's when he started dancing with Deb, and when Dexter and Rita were packing the old house, but they started dancing with them also. And that shows the level of how infectious the vibe could be. I'm gonna tell you a story. I have once seen a clip of a man, and he was on a beach. There was a music playing, and he was the only one dancing. The only one dancing. He looked super awkward because in front of all of these people, he was the only one dancing. But suddenly, the second person came, and he started dancing with him also. Now there are two of them dancing. Suddenly, two more people came in. Now there are four of them dancing. Suddenly, after 30 minutes of him dancing, there were 100 people around him, and they were all dancing to the same music the entire time. That just shows how infectious this could be. If you just become the beacon of hope, everyone will follow you to the light. And because you got this far, I have a very special bonus for you. I have been studying charisma and social skills for 3 years straight, and I am the inventor of the social yin yang. The light side is you being able to be charismatic, being to listen towards other people, and being able to give compliments that last forever and being extremely memorable. But on the other hand, the dark side is you being able to be assertive, respected by other people, and take a stand if needed, and not wearing this stupid mask to please other people ever again. And even better, I'm teaching social yin yang on a one-on-one calls for free. So if you want to book a call with me and I can teach you how you can become the most charismatic version of yourself, click the first link in the description. I will see you there. And if you want to be respected by everyone around you, in this video right here, I've explained the most important principle when it comes to being respected by everyone around you. Live a happy life.